Went to the gym, and it was more of an upper body focused session, as I am cycling to work both ways, and this time I was kind of pushing intervals on the way back, so I felt like the lower body was somewhat taken care of. Of course, cycling is not a full leg endeavor, but still I managed to get some cardio in and some good tempo work. So I thought that for once I would focus a bit more on the upper body. I was doing tuck rows and eccentrics on the handstand push-up with the every minute on the minute rep scheme. In here, the piriformis tightness slash annoyance inflammation is not really allowing me to kick up on the handstands in my preferred way, which would be with the left leg being the last one that leaves the floor. And as I have been slowly trying to learn how to do that with the right leg, which has proven to be way more difficult than I would have expected. It just does not feel natural, and the main issue that I'm encountering in here is not as much lowering into the eccentric as it is actually getting up and staying up in order to go down. So I want to still be doing kick-ups because at some point I would like to be ambidextrous with the legs in case this recovery for the piriformis extends longer than I would like, which is a fairly reasonable scenario looking at how things are going. But yeah, so the main struggle was to get into the position and then lowering down, because I'm noticing that I am not quite able yet to kick up the follow-up leg in a way that does not make me go over, which is something that I had been struggling at the very beginning of my handstand journey when I was doing it in the more natural way for me, which is with the left leg. And it took me, I think, a shorter time while learning the first time with the natural way of doing it than it is now, while I am decently proficient at the handstand and I am kicking up from a leg, the opposite leg. In here, I was getting into a good vertical, but I was probably staying too much into that. I wasn't leaning forward enough to load the shoulders in a meaningful way. The problem with not being able to stay up and consistently knowing that you can get up confidently kind of takes away from the repetition itself, because then there are more things to focus about. And I have been thinking about doing them against the wall. It is something that I'll probably be doing also, which was the previous step in the progression, and I probably made a mistake in just moving away from that entirely. I should have kept both against the wall and freestanding as complementary variations, because it gives me less to think about while focusing a bit more on getting those shoulders to take the brunt of the eccentric. So I will be definitely re-implementing the against the wall eccentrics, because I believe they're going to be a valuable tool, especially now that kick-ups are proving to be a bit of a struggle, and I need to get the reps in for the shoulders. I cannot really always focus on getting into a good handstands to begin with, because that is something that I should be taking for granted if I am to progress towards a handstand push-up. Tuck rows weren't really feeling the best, but I still got them in. It was 3 sets of about 6 to 8 repetitions, and I finished off with some hanging leg raises. It's another way to get to pump some blood in the side of the hip while still keeping my knees a little bent. I'm noticing that if they're straight, it gives me more discomfort. So it's good to implement this as well. Ciao.